talk.
Peanut talk?
Yes, peanut talk.
That's what we're doing.
Yes, we are.
All right, then.
We are the 50s chicks, and today we're going to be
Talking about peanuts?
yes.
I'm Annalie.
And I'm Patricia.
So tell me what happened related to a peanut, where we have a online dating story
Yes, we do.
that does involve a peanut.
A peanut, yes. Yes, well, I had occasion to match with
I can't believe you did that.
matched with and we had a very interesting conversation.
Okay.
Very interesting, to say the least. It was on what, I can't think of what platform. Maybe Match. I think Match.
Mhm.
And we matched, whatever, did some texting on the platform. And hey, hi, blah blah, the thing. And then it progressed to telephone call. Now that was the morning, and then it progressed to the telephone call later that afternoon, because I like to move that thing along. And we get on the phone, and the profile was kind of sparse a bit, but because my list is so short now, the fact that he was local, well, not even local-ish, within the radius.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other things that keyed on that was like, okay, he rates a phone call. And so we get on the phone. First off, the voice, he had an accent. I thought at first it was Boston.
Okay.
But New Jersey.
Okay.
Yes. So the accent, that was another plus for me. I like an accent.
Yeah.
And he seemed personable, funny. We were laughing, joking, what have you. Talked about family, his kids, how many kids, the normal stuff.
Yep.
And talked about past relationships. And we got on, what was it? Goals, because that's one of the things, like what we're here for. We talked about, how did we segue into this? I don't recall. Maybe, I do not know how he got this in. I honestly don't remember. But somehow or other, he got into, and he did preface with, I hope you don't mind, or something like that. He, as far as, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, or something like that. But he says something pertaining to sex or sexual encounter.
Which is interesting, because if you look at a lot of the Reddits and a lot of, women's input into online dating, that's one of the biggest red flags.
Yes.
That people complain about consistently.
Because they're
that's probably why he felt he had to preface
with. But I honestly don't remember, but there was something that gave him a door to enter that, and I just don't remember what it was.
Okay.
I think he was talking about one of his, he was talking about a past, not girlfriend, he said a girl that he kind of dated for about 6 weeks. He was saying how they had been going out for maybe 4 weeks or whatever, they had not kissed or something like that. Wow. And he was like, wondering what that was about and whatever. He went on with that. And then he segued into, that was how he segued into that. And so he mentioned something about men and having problems performing.
Oh, it's kind of a leap, I think. Okay, but it's a leap.
He went into, as far as how I would feel about that, or something to that effect.
How does
And
that even
I
come
know, I
out?
know. It has something to do with the fact that he and this girl, this other woman, rather, he was supposedly age appropriate woman, and they neither one of them said anything, but he was, wondering, hey, when, are we going to be able to kiss or whatever? And finally, they had a discussion about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, I thought you were going to say something," and
Oh, I don't think
nobody was saying
people shouldn't be
anything.
saying anything. It should just
I know,
happen
I know, I
organically.
know.
But okay.
But and she said she was waiting on him. He said he was waiting on her. So it was a whole big mess. Whatever. Well, not a mess.
A man's going to
because
be waiting a long time for me to initiate
I know,
this.
because,
But okay.
I know,
Okay.
because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But so then I guess that's how he kind of wanted to feel me out to see where I was with that.
Wow. And I don't even understand what vocabulary could he have used
To enter
to say
it?
that. Like,
No, he
how
just
do you
said,
feel
I hope
about
no, he
a
about
male
about
performance?
yeah, about as far as have I experienced those issues in my dating? I said,
It's a
well,
bold move.
and I said, well, yeah, you guys have those issues at this age, so yeah. And then he goes on to start talking about well, he talked about Viagra, Cialis. Well, he didn't talk about Viagra. He said Viagra. He's tried
all of it,
and it didn't work with him. He said Cialis. Now he says that he's been taking he takes Cialis every day.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that was something you take every
I
day.
did know that Cialis is different. The Viagra, you take a pill and it's like
right
for the moment, which is kind of sucky because what if
you don't know what,
or blah blah blah.
And then
but the Cialis is supposed to be more of a
see, I didn't know
just
that.
in case pill, and it's gonna work. Not just I don't know. It's just like a daily pill.
Yeah,
and you have I don't know. It feels like more freedom of whether or not it happens, which makes sense. If you're dating, you don't know what's gonna happen.
You don't know. So, but yeah, so he said that, and I didn't say anything about like, oh, I didn't know that, but he did. I was like, oh, okay. And so he said that he does that, and then he went on to say that he had some kind of injection.
Oy.
Yes, some name he's. And I don't remember what the name.
Serious.
Some name with some number with some T3 something or other.
Some testosterone. Maybe
well, he does that. He does that also.
Oh,
he does that also.
My.
And he does this whatever injection.
It sounds serious.
And he's taking all these other supplements and all of that. Now he's saying all this stuff about all these things that he does, and in the midst of all that, he says, oh, I'm healthy and I can, I've never had any problems or anything like that. Now, and also he was married for 30 years. He was divorced 3 years ago. Okay. Now, he's been doing all this stuff for years prior to his divorce.
Okay.
And supposedly his wife had no interest in having sex.
Because it didn't work. Right?
But he says that he's been doing all that stuff for years.
Why? Well,
even exactly. So why? The divorce was because he was
venturing outside,
obviously.
Out his...
But he wouldn't. He denied that.
Of course,
he denied that. Yeah. He said that she, in fact, when they first got married, that she cheated on him. And I said, well, why did you? Well, no, it was 40 years. It's 40 years they were married. I said, well, how in the world? Like, why are you staying? How did you reconcile that at the beginning of your marriage and stay? And he gave me this whole hullabaloo about, oh, she's this, she's that, blah, blah, blah. I said, but we're talking 40 years here.
Makes me think that he wasn't working ever.
40 years.
Maybe.
And that maybe why he's doing all these different things.
Yeah, because if that would make sense for me.
Yes, and now since you just said that, because I was wondering why all the things, and he was asking me about, have you ever heard of whatever, and I don't remember the things that he was saying. I was like, no. He said, well, you need to look it up because women and men can both take these. And I'm like, what the world? And he was like, yeah, da, da, da. So and what was so off-putting, all of it was off-putting, but the fact that he was doing all these things.
That's a lot.
Yes, that's a lot. And to be talking about all those things, like, why are you, I don't know.
I feel like he's come to the point where he has to put that out there first thing, because he doesn't want to invest any time
unless
money,
somebody is on board.
Somebody's on board.
Yes, okay.
With some stuff.
Okay, so maybe that's because I was like, what in the world? Why would I need to know all of this?
The interesting part about that is that it sounds to me like he definitely wants to have the sexual encounters. He wants that.
Oh, yes, he's not clear.
Okay with someone not having it, but he also can't do it.
Well, no, he claims that with all this stuff and whatever other apparatuses, I have no idea. He says that he is, he has no problem in that area. That's what he says. I'm just telling you what the man said. But I was so
makes me wonder.
And it wasn't that I was off put if he had any type of issue.
But especially if they're addressing it, because that makes you think, but that's a lot.
Yeah, all that is what was off-putting. Like, who are you trying to impress? And also he confessed, because I was talking about the values, I was saying, well, one thing that I have to, my person has to have the same values. We have to have values that are aligned. And I said, the pornography, dealing with sex workers, young girls. And he says, oh, no, I don't do any of that. And he said, well, this one, me and my friends were hanging out, and this one 27-year-old, he said, came around, and we were just talking, and then she was asking me out. And so I said, yes. And we went out, a couple times, and we were just hanging out. But I know she was just wanting money. But before that, he said, oh, she was a nurse and she made good money. Now, I don't know why he had to add that.
Because they're all either nurses or going to pre-med.
But then he said, what did he say? Then he said, well, I know that she just wanted a sugar daddy. So I told her, I'm not a sugar daddy or whatever. Well, I thought if she had money, why would she be
why would she
a sugar daddy? But the thing of it was, she didn't want you. She wanted your money. And that's what I said. Well, yeah, that's what the young girls want from you guys. I said, y'all are funny to me, because that girl only wanted your money. Oh, well, I was just, talking to her and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, because I told him that, any grown man, 50s and 60s, going after these young girls, yeah, that's a mindset that is not in line with my values. He was like, oh, no, it's just that one. No, all this peanut energy, all this peanut injections,
and it makes me think too,
supplements and medication and all this.
Young girls are definitely not going to be on board with a lot of things to make it work. Like, they're not going to be very, very tolerant,
or patient, or even understanding anyway, because they don't need. They're not supposed to
point
understand
and laugh. They're going to be like. So it's not.
But they're not even supposed to.
That's probably what happened, if anything, with that.
But yeah, so that after all
that. Was there should we meet for coffee?
Oh gosh, no. I'm not. Well, he made mention of something like, but I'm sure that he read the room, because he halfway said it. Well, if you're still interested and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I see I didn't say that, but I said something off.
Yeah.
And he said, well, he didn't give me, that's what it was. He didn't give me a chance to say, because I was like, well, and then he said, well, just let me know. That's what it was. He said, just let me know, if
I
you,
like that.
yes,
Actually,
because he
that's
kind
okay
of,
with me. I'm okay with that.
he said, well,
Yes,
just let
that
me
was a
know.
good comeback for him. Yes,
He said,
yes,
well, just let me know,
yep,
da da da.
yep.
But yeah,
Nobody has to get hurt. You're
nobody.
just stepping away.
But that's what's out there. That's the thing. That's it. That's the thing. That's it. So that's the peanut.
Mm-hmm.
That's the peanut. All he
That
wanted to
is
talk
it.
about was peanuts.
Wow.
That's it.
And that's also, man, you can't, even though you know that that's something you have to get to and quick, that's still too soon
But it was too much.
and too much.
And I don't even care if he had said something about it 3-4 dates in. That's too much stuff.
That is a lot.
That's too much stuff. That tells me that that's your focus.
Yeah.
That's you spending too much time.
Yeah.
Worried about the peanut.
Yes. That's
that's way too much.
That's a lot of treatments,
yes.
a lot of
that's
energy.
And the testosterone stuff, just too much.
It is.
One thing and be done with it. Take the Cialis every day.
Yeah.
And be done with it.
And you don't even have to talk much about it.
You don't have to say nothing. You really didn't have to say anything.
No. If it's working, then why even talk about it?
He wanted me to know that he was
That sounds
up and
very
running.
sus.
Up and
very
running.
sus to me.
And also, I'm sure that because he talked about it like that, he's talked about it before. Maybe there are some women that would make comment and say, oh, well, I'm glad you're doing that because I want X, to go play into it. There are some women that would, and I'm not knocking them. But so for him, I probably wasn't his match or choice because
it seems to me if he was going out with someone for 4 weeks and not even a
kiss, that's what he said.
That's a long time.
Yes.
To do
but he was getting ready to break up with her.
Right.
Or not break. They were just 4 weeks. But he was getting ready to call it quits.
Which I don't even.
And she said, well, what's wrong? I thought we were having a good time. And he's like, well, we haven't even kissed or anything. And that's when she said, well, I was waiting on you. And then he's like, well, I was waiting on, it was, silly. But, but yeah, so he was getting ready to, because like, no, this is.
Well, I think I would be on the verge of that too, if nothing at all. Not even a, not even
4 weeks?
That's very little.
I don't know.
Physical contact. I know you might
not know. Because money talk.
Yes.
No name.
But that was still not normal. I'm just gonna say that was not your typical. That was not how it typically goes. If you have a full on attraction match, that is not the typical way things progress.
Money talk. What off-put me was the money talk.
The money talk.
So I couldn't see past that.
Well, whatever it is, something is amiss when those things happen like that. When when it stops progressing, something is amiss.
That's true. That is something. There's something off.
Something's not right.
But anywho, so that's the peanut. Peanut talk, peanut this, peanut that, injection this and that, all kinds of stuff I learned about peanut rejuvenation. Is that what it is?
Yes.
A lot of peanut stuff.
Well, and I've recently read something in a Reddit story that talks about how there's an increase in peanut issues.
Well, in this age group, of course.
But even more so than even normal? With and now it's happening to even younger men.
Well, that's about the porn. But the porn is for sure a thing. Yeah. That is, especially with the young guys.
It's a thing.
That is messing them up. But so that's the peanut talk.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I won't be
finding out
to. I don't want to know. I do not want to know. That's nothing I want to know.
No, that's too much.
Yes. So.
And nothing against, because everybody has, a lot of people, almost everyone has these issues. So don't get us wrong. It's nothing
No,
wrong
it's not
with
the
that.
issue of needing
But that is a
but
lot.
that's too much.
That's too
That
much.
was too much. Too much for me.
Yes.
I don't know what someone else might think. I think he was just going overboard. I think he was doing more. He was doing the most, and he should have done less.
Yes.
He was
He
doing
must
the
have
most.
realized it too. Also, like
He was doing the most.
Yeah.
He should have done less.
Mhm.
That I do not
Yeah.
believe all of that was necessary
No.
for a normal interaction.
And this is a good example of self-care that you didn't feel like you had to continue with it. That you just said, not for me, and everybody steps away without having to put in a whole lot of
time and
effort.
Yes.
So,
Done and done.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's the peanut story.
I like it. And we want to know what you think about this peanut story and how would you react to something like that? Because that's a lot. How many women would be able to deal with that amount of peanut talk?
Now, I don't know if he's talked to all of them about it.
Right.
But for some
how
reason,
many would be able to put up with that much? That's a lot. I'm gonna say not a lot.
That's the first time I've ever had a conversation about peanut rejuvenation in that way.
No,
it was too
especially on a first phone.
Just a phone call, yes. It was too much. It's like you said, he wants to get it out of the way.
Yeah, but I think he's jumping hoops here. He's jumping.
He went too far.
He was trying to. No, he was jumping hoops. That has to be trickled in. That has to be trickled, if at all.
But who wants to hear that? Who wants to know any of that?
Nobody.
Like, was it necessary for anyone to know all of that?
No,
I don't think it is.
No,
but he was saying it in a bragging kind of way.
Work, then maybe yes. Maybe yes.
Well, if
not to that extent,
yes. But if he's doing all that and things still aren't popping, then stop. Then stop.
Yes.
But he was. It almost sounded like he was saying it like he was proud of, like he was
all the things that he's
like doing. and I'm never like he's thinking that
I wonder if some woman has pumped him up about the fact that, because a lot of guys are very reticent about talking about it. So maybe somebody built him up and, oh my gosh, you're able to talk about this and be open about it. Because I've heard women be upset that their husbands, boyfriends won't even talk about it, won't go to the doctor about it because it's an embarrassing thing. So I don't know.
But here's the thing. He says, and before he even started with all that peanut rejuvenation, he tried to make it seem like his peanut had no problems. He said, "Oh, well, there's no problem. I'm just letting you know I have no problems. I do da 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 and da 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 and da da da." So I mean, I was thrown just from all of that and him trying to say that he had no issues. And I almost said, but I didn't, because I wanted him to continue, because that was a fascinating story. But I was gonna ask, and now I regret not asking. But with all that peanut rejuvenation, if his wife was not having sex with him, what was all the
that would have been an
for?
interesting talk.
What if she's not? And he said his wife told him he need to stop.
Oh my God.
He said his wife said, "Why are you doing all that? You need to stop." And in my mind, I'm thinking she was right.
She was right.
Like, why?
She was right.
But yeah, and so if she was saying no, and that's what he was saying, that she was not interested. I doubt
said that because if she wanted to stop because she wanted the cheating to stop. He needed to stop messing around. But
well, after 40 years, girl, like I'm thinking, why did y'all? Because I said, why'd you break up after 40 years? Like 40 years. That makes no sense. But yeah, so that's the peanut talk.
Yep. Well, let us know what you think about that. And we appreciate any comments that comes out. We address all of them,
Yes,
I think.
we do. Yes.
And Make sure that you subscribe. Hit the
Yes.
subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up.
Up. Yes.
Oh, we get fireworks.
Oh.
Until next time, don't forget to live
Laugh.
and connect.
And
I don't know. Is it gonna work?
Is it?
Oh, come on.
Is it in the way?
Oh, it might be in the way.
Because we're...
Okay,
Look at this.
we're getting too obsessed with it.
There it is.
Oh, you got
Mine
it.
did it.
Mine did it. Bye, everyone.
There we go.
Oh my God, look at you overdoing it. Okay.